16 weeks, baby. I'm feeling so good. Man, I can't wait to share with you what I'm doing today. I had my 16-week follow-up. I had my 16-week last physical therapy session. I felt awesome. I got some heavier weight. So stay tuned today. I'm gonna be sharing with you everything I'm doing during this recovery process and this rehab with my ACL because things are going great. First exercise, I'm gonna share this one again. Check out this clip, it's the horizontal leg press. But what I'm doing this time, actually the only clip I have here because I need to get a new phone. Phone's running out of memory. So here's the old video. I'm doing alternating plyo single leg jump. So it's like alternating with one leg. It kind of feels like I'm on the moon and I'm jumping side to side. So at this 16-week mark, now I'm adding in a little bit more plyometrics. Actually, it was the first time that I did like a small jump on a platform. I'll talk with you that in about a second. But I wanted to share with you because this horizontal leg press, I'm gonna have one in my studio. I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace. I just need to get one in here because it's been the best thing for my rehab. And so using the horizontal leg press has been crucial for my strength. Like literally just yesterday, what's today? Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday. 2 days ago, I got 300 pounds for 6 reps. Now that doesn't mean anything because every machine's a little bit different with the weights and the resistance and all that good stuff. But I got full range of motion all the way down. Now I have been using some knee sleeves for my strength. I'll share with you that in just a second, but just wanted to talk about this leg press. So working on the strength, I'm doing some alternating plyos. I'm also doing light plyos. So what I started doing right at this 16-week mark, actually, I'll be honest, it was like at the 12-week, or not the 12, the 14. So 14 for the past few weeks. Doing the alternating single leg press, but I've been doing the strength training, doing the regular leg presses. I've been doing single leg presses, and then I've been alternating. And literally, like I said in my last video, just spam these. Do them over and over because you're gonna get a lot of good results doing this kind of light plyo using a horizontal leg press. I don't know where else you can do this unless you buy the horizontal leg press and use this machine, but it's super beneficial. It'll really help your knees, and as you're entering the plyometric stage like I am, it depends on the person. Like I said, this isn't medical advice. You follow your doctor or physical therapist recommendation. This is just what's working for me, but it's been so awesome just being able to, feels like I'm on the moon, jumping up and down, using this leg press, adding in the plyometrics. So I've been able to really get a little bit more aggressive with it now, utilize a little bit more weight, not only doing 2 legs, but just doing the alternating single leg jumps. So I only like using these knee sleeves for strength training and getting some of my mobility, just mainly because of the fact, like even right now, 16-week mark, like, you know, once I get warmed up, I can actually squat pretty low, but that's that last degrees. And I feel like that's what I tell my physical therapist, and that's what I just told my orthopedic surgeon, that it's just that last degrees range of motion, but I can easily come up and get my, well, I say easily, if I foam roll a little bit, but my heel can touch my butt. I got full range of motion in my leg. But if I utilize these knee sleeves only for strength, just because, you know, I'm gonna take off my other shoe, but you know, I probably did this in another video. You hear that? It's just like, I guess it's welcome to 40. So it's, my knee's just kind of cracking, but I feel with this extra compression using these Ray-Ban knee sleeves, and I like Ray-Ban, I've used some other brands, I've even promoted other brands, but I fell back in love with these because it just has this nice stitching in here. And I even have an old Ray-Ban from 2017. It's still good, but I just used one because when I tore my other ACL in 2017, had it injured for years, I was just using one knee sleeve. But now, like it's just so easier, like I can literally load. And so this extra compression, I'm even bouncing a little bit and I can even get some weight. Now we're at the 16-week mark. I finally just started being able to actually, I can't even sit I mean, if I take some time, get my heels to touch my butt, but I've finally been able to put a little bit more weight on there. So when I'm doing any kind of strength training, just for those, and you know, I'm not like trying to set records and lift. Well, I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword. Yes, I'm trying to get stronger. Yes, I'm trying to push a little bit heavier, but just for the first few movements. This isn't a typical machine that I use a lot. Now, I'll be honest, even right after my first 30 days, going into after post-ACL surgery, oh, look, found my phone. I was looking for this for hours. I went to Germany. I was using a leg press with no weight on there, but also I was using this, and we have a unilateral leg press here. So what I would do is I would sit down. Now, with this machine, the adjustment, I like to try and get some more range. So I'll move it, I'll take a look at it. I like going to 6, 6 is kind of the sweet spot right on the dot, and then I will sit on here. Now this is a open chain exercise, meaning legs are moving. You know, initially in the early stages of rehab, we want to do closed chain. So it's just kind of like getting into a fighter jet, but I can kind of sit in here. I still like doing one leg at a time, so I will push and then press and squeeze. But if you have bad knees like me, wearing compression sleeves, it just feels really good. When I'm doing stability and balance training, I don't want to wear these compression sleeves. Now, when I had a torn ACL, if you don't have one, I think early stages of rehab, even with balance, this is good to use, but this just feels really good. And then I'll get my other leg. And so since I have the mobility now I can push with 2 legs. You know, but it still just feels a lot harder, even just having this weight on here. Like the right leg, it's like working it unilaterally is nice because I can feel the difference. It's just, this feels like, I don't know, it just feels like 30% heavier doing that. But the horizontal leg press, as you saw in that other portion, I'm lying on my back, my body's moving, the legs are staying the same. And so I just set a personal record. I got 300 pounds for 6 reps, and then I had to drop it back down to 260. I got 4 reps, but I'm just able to sit down on there. And I was talking with my physical therapist about it, and he said, hey, at least for the strength training portion, if you're doing the single leg and you were doing the 2-legged leg press, you can go ahead and use the sleeves. I just took them off when I'm doing the plyo because the sleeves kind of take away from the stability, right? You're wearing sleeves to be a little bit more stable. So when I go ahead and I just drop the sleeves off, then when I'm working my stability training, obviously I feel a little bit unstable, which is part of getting more stability as you're trying to train that. So I would say if you're doing some stability training, keep the knee sleeves off. But now as I'm entering, and I didn't even use these for the first 16 weeks. So starting week 16, we just crossed that line. And I just felt so excited because I felt so strong. And just not even a couple of weeks, or was it 1 month ago, starting week 12, I only got 300 pounds for 1 rep. And it was so hard and had to drop the weight down to like 260 or 240 to finish up. But I finally, you know, got more reps, and everything just felt better in my last physical therapy session. So if it's up to you, if you want to start using some knee sleeves, I think they're really beneficial. I'll have the link down in the description for Ray-Ban. I think it's a really great brand. Helps me a lot, and I'll probably be using them for a while, even when I'm doing a lot of heavy lifting with upper body. I just feel like my joints need that extra support. If I had YouTube back when I was a kid, I probably could have avoided a lot of these injuries, because when everybody talked about the tendonitis, I probably have some of that stuff. So I'm constantly getting deep tissue massages on my forearms. Also a lot of deep tissue massage on my legs every other week. But utilizing the horizontal leg press has been good. But now I'm gonna start using other leg press machines. And it's just gonna kind of help just aid and keep me pushing further along in rehab. This is the point where you really gotta lock in. You gotta get focused. Doing your first plyometric, this was like, oh, finally I'm coming along. And it was just shortly after my 12-week update that it was like the very next workout, they had me jumping. Literally, I'm on a small little plate here. The box was a little bit higher than that, maybe like an inch or so, but I was just here, 20 reps, stepping back. Everything is it's a 2-legged jump, pushing off the balls of the feet. You know, when I was training with my athletic trainer, even, you know, there's probably some athletic sprinter or jumper that's gonna correct me even better than what I'm doing here. But I would use my hands up and I would squat down, hands back, and then that. So even doing this light jump, I'm going like full athlete, hands, and then I'm trying to land lightly. I wanna feel like I'm a ninja or like a little kitten. I'm just like, just light, right? Just trying to get up on there. But as you get a little bit better with it, my first week, it was like literally week 13. I did, you know, 1 set, then I did 2 sets. This is just like probably I don't know, my measurements are off, but feels like it's a plate and a half. And so when I was at Lifetime, 1 day of physical therapy, I would do the jumps. And then when I would finish my workout, I would just finish with 2 sets of 20. I think what I did at the gym, I just grabbed a weight. So I had like, you know, a random weight. Well, I had a barbell actually, but I would just grab like a 45-pound barbell. Now this is something I never even do in physical therapy. I don't do weight training exercises, but since I've done it on my own, I've been safe. So I would superset my jumps with literally a single leg weighted RDL. And I would just get like 5. Nothing crazy. This is 50 pounds. For me, it's not bad. I like 5 for like a strength. It's kind of, I don't know if a lot of you do that. Strength, I call it strength stability, where I'm working strength but stability, but I'm keeping the reps low, like 5. And for single leg RDLs, I kind of like that 5 to 10 rep range, because if you end up doing 20 reps a leg, your lower back's just gonna get fried. Anywho, I would superset with that exercise. It's kind of something I made up myself, and then I would use a little bit higher. So here, hands up, down, squat, boom, 20 reps. So this is just, you know, it's little, right? Something little I've been doing. Also recently too is we're doing 2-legged jump, 1-legged land. So I would do 20. Actually, sometimes it's not always 20, 20, 20 or 30. Sometimes we'll break it up. So I think with the jumping, I would do about 20 reps, but then when I started the 1-legged land, I would do 10 reps. So I would do 2 legs jump, 1 leg land. So hands down, squat, 1 leg. Now, see, that wasn't perfect, little unstable, nothing crazy, but here, step, 2, up, jump, land. And just working that, you can see when knees tear, both of my ACLs tear, it was from landing and then the knees going in. So you can see even when I land now, that's where we gotta get that better, right? I'm here, that knee, it buckles a little, but it's all part of it. So I would do 10 to 20 reps there. And that's pretty been the newest thing. Now, not even gonna do it. I'm not there yet. I like waiting for physical therapy before I try some new stuff. But, you know, I don't mind pushing my mobility and my stretching, because like as a yoga instructor taught me once, it was time, patience, and gravity. I feel like no matter what age, however old you are, 80, 90, 100, 30, you can get more flexible if you just practice. Now, if you want to get stronger, holy moly, you got to get blood, like I think even after 25, even 18, you could screw stuff up as you're a kid. You gotta get your hormones checked, you gotta get blood work done, you gotta sleep, you gotta rest, you gotta get proper hydration, you gotta have a good progressive overload program if you wanna get stronger. But anybody can get flexible, like as long as you don't have any metal screws or plates or things in your rods in your body preventing you from bending a certain way. It's just time, practice, patience, gravity, you'll get there. So anyway, adding in these jumping movements have been making me feel a little bit more powerful, but I've been doing that. Also, I've been adding in some hops. So in addition to these jumping, I'll have like a little tape. I'll just make an X. I don't like having something you could slip and fall on. So like, I wouldn't recommend like, you know, jumping over a plate, because you could roll your ankle and heaven forbid, like you don't want to be in PT and re-tear your ACL. So I would just use like tape or like maybe a light band, and then I'll just do some forward backs. So imagine a quadrant in 4. I mean, heck, can we do this? Yeah, sure. Let's just pretend we're making like a little quadrant here. I got some ankle straps laying around, so we'll make a little X. I think we can do this. This should be pretty safe. Now, generally the tape's a little bit more, flatter than this, but anyways, we're gonna go to the side, we're gonna go back, we're gonna hop. Imagine knees don't moving. I know, it's still early, and we're forward, and then we can come back and you can play around with it. Sometimes I'll just go side to side, but I gotta even be careful with that, because the initial, like, now obviously my left leg's a lot better, I can do these easier. Hop, hop, hop. Even sometimes they want you to go slow. Hop, slow, reset. Hop, slow, reset. Hop, slow, you know, good leg, easy peasy. Or left and right. Hop, and then hop. So even still, there's a little, I have like 0 cartilage in my leg, so I feel like I can feel a little, I don't know, crunchy, grinding. It's okay, but I know it's not just right yet. I mean, it's definitely better, new ACL, but I've just got to be very careful with a lot of the movements I'm doing. Yeah, back in the day, I used to do a lot of, I don't know, let's see. Haven't tried that in God knows how long, but I would do some single leg jumps. I might be kind of careful of how much jumping and plyo I'm doing. But even when I first tore my ACL and I didn't know anything about rehab, I remember I was just doing this. I remember I just kind of came up with it, and who knew it would be in physical therapy. And I was just trying to jump side to side. Actually, sometimes I would just go forwards, reset, and backwards. But even just doing 10 of those is kind of tough. And then I will also show you one last thing that I literally just started doing. They would give me a thick pad and then a baby pad. I think jumping forward's a little bit easier to go on to a little bit more of a thicker service and then a thicker surface. Jumping laterally is a little bit, can be a little bit more challenging. Now, I don't do any inward, so I'm not doing any jumping that forces me to go here and then landing there, because that's just a little pushing off. You don't want any of that, right? So I don't mind lateral out, because when I jump and land, it just feels safer. At least I haven't done that in physical therapy yet. We're at the 16-week mark. So what I did, I think it was what, week 13, week 14, I felt a little better this week. This was like my second time ever doing it. Last week, I literally did 4, but Jesus, they made me do 30 rep leg presses, 30 reps single leg, 30 rep alternating, 60 reps on the legs. And so it was just a little bit more challenging, but I would just jump and then step down, jump and then step down. So now I can finally do that without any pain. Not too much more with this, but the forward jumping is a little bit easier, where I can just kind of hop forward. Now this is actually I should retire this pad because I can feel it almost like coming in. So let me turn it the other way. But when I jump forward, it's a little easier to hop up onto a pad. And again, I'm gonna retire this pad after this video, I promise. We're coming up, we're landing. An unstable surface, again, it makes it a little bit more challenging. In your initial stages of jumping, you're just landing on a flat surface. But as you're trying to get a little bit better, we're gonna jump, we're landing. And I think that was the hardest part at the beginning, is wait till I get my balance and then step back. Doing a forward jump and then stepping back. And then what I would do is I would alternate, and they'd have a little pad and a thicker pad. So I would jump forward, stabilize, reset, land, and then lateral, stabilize, reset. And then I would do the same thing on both legs. Obviously, when I got to the left leg, it's a little bit easier. I can move faster, but part of it is going, like doing the movement and then holding the landing so you can restabilize. So we got forward, balance. I'm making that look worse. Now, when the leg is good, you can jump back with one leg, right? Lateral, jump back, and even just by bouncing around, you'll work that stability a little bit more. Coming forward, sometimes I'll pump, like I'm about to do a sprint, pump, jump. But since the leg is good, I can make it harder, and then landing out. And those are a lot of the movements I've been doing recently, doing some flat jumping in quadrants. And then also, most recently, week 13, 14, I've been adding in these lateral and forward jumps utilizing balance pads. 16 weeks in, some things haven't changed. I'm doing a lot of foam rolling, but I didn't show you in any of the other videos. I love using these double massage balls. Now, it's all great, merry and dandy when you're jumping around, getting plyo, getting some strength, feeling strong. But before I even do any of that, I wanted to interject this into the video. I'm always massaging the leg. Now, yes, I do have a deep tissue massage therapist I've been using since 2018. Now, I did have a little moment, 2022, I just went ahead, I got booked with clients, so I didn't see my therapist for a year. And that was bad. I think I regressed a little bit, because you can rely, right? You can live life without a deep tissue massage therapist. You don't have to rely on them. But doing your own mobility, make sure you're massaging the legs, can help get extra blood flow, get circulation, get more mobility and range of motion out of the joint. So hopefully you never get hurt. So now, and I think the very first, how am I feeling great 30 days after surgery? I was definitely doing some foam rolling. A lot of it was on 2 legs, but as you can see now, I do have the ability where I can plank and just bend and kick on one leg, even just going through here. These legs get kind of tender, and especially you've got to mash it. I think as I entered in week 12, my groin just started getting a lot tighter. So now at week 16, it's feeling a little bit better, but in 2022, I was doing like some single leg squats and had sharpshooting pain in my groin. So I actually had to get a kettlebell and then start massaging the inner thigh. Actually, since while I'm here, I'm gonna just pick one up really fast, and we will get this kettlebell. So I wanna show you, because this is an issue I've been dealing with. Maybe you've been dealing with it too. I have one person, he doesn't like doing this. Jason, I know, you gotta do this. I'm not even sure you're gonna watch this video, but I will get this kettlebell and I will mash it. Oh, this isn't pleasurable at all. It's actually not like painful, but it's not comfortable. But this has been the one thing that's helped me get rid of my groin pain. And so I would just literally rock side to side. I would switch the position. I would work it down. You can even see my bottom knee is down onto the ground. I can't even put a lot of weight here. Now, some stronger parts, like up top, I can actually kind of plank onto this and I can roll in and out. But I've been using that kettlebell to help massage the groin. Also, using this roller here bending and extending the leg. Again, honorable mention, but it's one of my favorite tools. I love using this double massage ball. So this extra vibration kind of, you know, do you need it? No. Does it help? Sure. And I just get a little extra vibration, so I really feel it just kind of breaks apart that muscle tissue a little bit more. I can bend, and it just feels good. That's just the only thing I can really say. It feels good. I'm bending, I'm kicking that leg, and as I'm bending it, I can feel the vibration go all the way like inside the knee. It's almost like, it's not quite E-stem, but it's like halfway there. It's just kind of covering the surface area of the muscle. And then when I bend it all the way up, I can even sometimes grab my foot, pull it, and I feel the vibration going up to the top of my quad, to the inside of my knee, and it just feels really good. Also, I will switch this around. I will get onto the calves, because I think it's one thing I tend to neglect a lot sometimes. I would say my calves, also the bottom of my feet. That's for another video, because you have your plantar fascia, right? The bottom of your feet. Those muscles get tight. We walk every day. We've been walking for thousands, 40,000 years probably, and you know, those muscles get tight, so we gotta make sure we nurture them. But a lot of times you don't realize how tight your calves get. And they say your calves are like your second heart. They're responsible for sending blood flow back up to the heart and everything in the upper body. Actually, out of surgery, they made me wear a compression sleeve on the opposite leg, because I already had this one wrapped up, because they say sometimes like you could potentially get a blood clot. So first 30 days, you have to take like this, I think it's like a baby aspirin. I don't think it was Tylenol. One of them you can't take, I can't remember, but I think it was like an aspirin. Anyways, just to thin out the blood, just to make sure you don't get blood clots. But God, I was using a Hypervolt, right? You know, right out of surgery. Now, I couldn't even do this the first week, but day 2, 3, 6, 7, I was using a massage gun. But now I've been just doing a lot more of this. Even right now, my calves are kind of tight, so I'll roll through the calf, I'll go through the shin, I'll massage them through the top, and then back into the Achilles. I'll do some little circles, rolling my ankle around in circles, and then also getting into the hamstrings. Now, I actually have a massage ball video on this, but this feels good. I was about to say I can just do a whole 30 minutes on this, but I will get through the back of the knee, I will go through the hamstring, and then I'll also, just what I did earlier with the foam roller, I'll get this on to the inner thigh and roll through there. I'll have a link in the description where you can purchase this. Yeah, sure, it's a little overpriced, but I've had this forever. And even, I don't think it was Arlo, I think it was Steve's dog, Blue, who might have nibbled on this a little bit, but I will massage through the inner thigh. It feels really good. Yeah, sure, it's a little bit pricier, anywhere from 60 to 90 bucks on Amazon. You can get this one for about 10 to 20 bucks. It's crazy to think people who are ever making foam balls are making a lot of money. It's just an overpriced piece of foam. But sometimes I'll use the big one because it covers a little bit more larger surface area. I can bend and extend that leg up and down. And you got to get in your mobility. And as even just doing this short little amount of work, I have a tendency now to kind of stay onto the balls of my feet. But something I've been really trying to focus so much on is just sitting here. So now I can finally get into a deep squat. And we don't even do this in physical therapy, but I don't know when the appropriate range. I'm gonna try and get my physical therapist onto the channel soon so he can share what is kind of normal expectations, because I feel like I try and go above and beyond trying to get as much stretching and mobility as I can during this process. So the hardest thing I've been doing recently are these Bulgarian split squat jumps. Now, actually there's another trainer in the studio, Steve, where I watch him do this with a lot of his volleyball girl athletes, and I took this from him a long time ago, and it's really awesome. It's a killer thing. I would do 30 reps of this. I am struggling like crazy just to even get 10 of these. Well, I guess technically 20, but you have your leg elevated and you're just hopping on one leg. And during this time, during this rehab process, it's been really cool, because the first time I went through rehab, it was great, and I did a lot of awesome exercises, but I feel like every time I go into physical therapy now, it's you know, Andrew is awesome. He's been really helping me through this. I want to get him on the channel here soon, and every week's been different. We are just throwing in new moves every single time, and so I'm kind of thankful, I guess. I mean, yeah, would I rather have a better knee? Sure, but I am, you know, I'm getting over 10, 12 grand of physical therapy just going once a week. And since I already met my deductible and paid a lot of money for surgery, I get the benefits of this. So anyway, here we go. Obviously I use benches there. They don't have a roller here. I love this thing. It is awesome. I got this through Titan Fitness. Really awesome little thing to use. I just prefer it a little bit better using that than the bench, because with the bench, you can even see, I'll turn this sideways. It's kind of limited, right? Your foot is fixed. It's not that it's bad, but like in PT, I'm here, I have one foot on the bench. Even honestly, a lot of times I'll have my shoe off just because it's a little bit more comfortable with my foot, and I'm coming down and I'm popping side to side, getting nice jumps. I'll show you from the front, nothing too crazy. Obviously this is my good leg, but I'll pump and I'll jump and I'll go side to side. 10 reps, each side, 20 total. Now, like in my prime, I would do like 30-30, blows out the legs, really, really crazy, really good for athleticism. I'll just go ahead and take off my shoes and I'll try it on my right leg. I kind of struggle to get 10, but this is kind of the newest thing I've been doing. Again, this is not medical advice or a recommendation. Follow your physical therapist's recommendation to your doctor's orders. Everybody rehabs differently. But when I come down, I'm getting a nice stretch in the back leg and I'm pushing up. Now they're not crazy about me. I don't need to get the range. They say work what you can get. Obviously it's a lot harder and I stop a lot, so you just want a little bit. But anyways, they usually give me like, there's a little piece of tape on the ground with my foot on the bench and we're just jumping over the tape. Now I did these 2 days ago, so my legs might be a little sore, but I barely get 4 or 5 or 6 and I'm huffing and puffing and I try it again. But it's a little harder because I try and I work that range. Again, surgical leg, these aren't pretty. It's just something I've only been doing for 2 weeks now. So we're on week 16, so 15, 16. I just started adding these in. A little bit of a struggle. I'm still only doing 10 reps, but that is probably my favorite exercise I am doing right now to get a little bit stronger. I've just showed you a few reps. I've had my heart rate monitor on. Heart rate probably feels like it's, I don't know, 120, 130. So I'm working a little bit, but I think this is the most fun and exciting time. If you're a former athlete, going through this rehab process is getting the power back, because in the beginning, you know, it's not my first rodeo. I've done this before, so it's just a lot of balance, a lot of stability. Even pre-surgery, I had 3 weeks with a torn ACL leading up to that. You can see it, my previous video. I was just working my good leg. I was doing just some balance and stability, just trying to, you know, get the knee ready for surgery. Already having a good base helps, and that's why I'm able to do a little bit more. But entering in week 12 to 16, especially now, I feel like I'm at my strongest and most powerful for this stage of the journey ever. So I think it's something you can look forward to. Again, just making sure that you're doing everything that the doctor says, or your surgeon, that your physical therapist, and again, know your body. You're gonna have limits and limitations. I was able to do these early on, but maybe you can't do this for 6 months or 9 months. I know someone commented on my video and said, this can kind of be depressing for some people because they're not there yet. But dude, I'm trying to like give you inspiration and motivation. Maybe this might inspire you to like be able to take your rehab a little bit more seriously. We all rehab at different levels. So I am never trying to make someone feel bad. I produce this content because yeah, I had to go through some pain. Dude, first week of surgery, like I couldn't sleep. I slept 2 to 3 hours at a time. My knee was achy. So I hope that me sharing my journey, it could help you become a little bit stronger, help you rehab a little bit more, help you become better, help you get in the best shape of your life. So this one was a little bit shorter, I think, exercise-wise. There's not too much more. Obviously, the assault bike and the ski-erg I was doing 2 weeks in. I'm going a little bit harder in the assault bike, but these are just some of the plyometrics that I've been adding in. These are the main things. I'm still doing the horizontal leg press. You know, even from the first video, my dynamic calf stretches, having my foot up against the platform, rocking, bending my knee, doing a lot of upper body. This video isn't about upper body. It's just the introduction to the plyometrics and the things I've been doing. So again, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate you being here. It means the world to me if you made it this far, because you're obviously checking out my ACL rehab and recovery journey. And even if you don't have surgery, you never have had it, maybe your knees aren't that strong or that great, follow along with me, because some of these things I think are very basic and they're hard, but it's been a challenge for me to get better. And I want to get a full recovery, and I just want to be able to snowboard with pain-free knees. So again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you and can't wait to see you in the next video.
I keep on working, got purpose and worth. Music's my cure and this world is my purse. Get rid of this curse with every verse. Of course I've been hurt, but some have it much worse. Leave me alone, get out of my head. Block out the opinions until I am dead. They all go to speak, but you listen instead. Listen some more and you'll cease to regret. I keep on working, I got it on track. You gonna see my name up on the flag. I sail this ship and I'll never come back. I keep this bitch on the line to attack. Never look back, I make a record like Crash. Top of my bracket I smash, I'm like a pack. I'm about to stack it like cash. It's gonna happen so fast.
Never change my